What is a hyphen? A hyphen is a punctuation mark that's used to join words or parts of words. It's not interchangeable with other types of dashes. We will talk about dashes later. Use a hyphen in a compound modifier when the modifier comes before the word it's modifying. If you're not sure whether a compound word has a hyphen or not, check your dictionary or the internet. Now, let's just look at few examples. It's recommended you don't take down any load-bearing walls when renovating. In this sentence, it sounds like you shouldn't take down any load that is holding up a wall. A hyphen should be inserted between load and bearing to make it clear that we are talking about walls that are bearing a load. So, it's recommended you don't take down any load-bearing walls when renovating. See how it changes? Once you put the hyphen between load and bearing, the entire meaning changes. We are looking for a dog-friendly hotel. Generally, you need the hyphen only if two words are functioning together as an adjective before the noun they are describing. Now, look at another example. This wall is load-bearing. This is perfectly fine. There is no problem here. You don't need a hyphen when your modifier is made up of an adverb and an adjective. Look at this example. Do you expect me to believe this clearly impossible story? Clearly impossible? You don't need the hyphen over there. You expect me to believe this clearly impossible story. That's enough. So just remember that hyphenated words, they help to combine two words or parts of words. Look at some common examples. Mother-in-law, mother-in-law, mother hyphen in, then again hyphen law, mother-in-law. So these are all hyphenated words. Master at arms, editor-in-chief. You can also combine hyphens with numbers 21, 99. What about the dash? A dash is a little horizontal line that floats in the middle of a line of a text. It's longer than a hyphen and is commonly indicated to show a range or a pause. Dashes are used to separate groups of words, not to separate parts of words like a hyphen does. You can expect a question based on this. What is an M dash versus an N dash? So you need to be prepared with this. The most common types of dashes are the N dash, and the M dash. A good way to remember the difference between these two dashes is to visualize the N dash as the length of the letter N. So when you write N, the space required to write that letter, that will be the length of the N dash. And for the M dash, it will be the space required to write the letter M. These dashes not only differ in length, they also serve different functions within a sentence. M dashes save the day when other punctuation would be awkward. For instance, M dashes can replace parentheses at the end of a sentence or when multiple commas appear in a parenthetical phrase. So it can be used to replace a parenthesis. Look at this example. After a split second of hesitation, the second baseman leaped for the ball, parenthesis, or rather limbed for it. This can be rewritten as, after a split second of hesitation, the second baseman leaped for the ball, the M dash, or rather limbed for it. Colons enable a writer to introduce a clause that amplifies whatever came before the colon. They are more formal than dashes. However, M dashes are more emphatic than colons. So when you want to generate a strong emotion in your writing or create a more casual tone, use M dashes. Compare these sentences. He's afraid of two things, colon, spiders and senior prop. It can be rewritten as, he's afraid of two things, M dash, spiders and senior prom. Writers and transcriptionists replace unknown, censored or intentionally omitted letters with M dashes. In these cases, M dashes appear in pairs or threesomes. A former employee of the accused company, M dash, offered a statement of the record. So there are multiple words or multiple letters missing here. Then H, M dash are all the same. They cause trouble wherever they go. So they have omitted these words. What about the N dash? N dashes are slightly shorter than M dashes. They also have a different function. The two main uses of N dashes are to indicate number ranges and to act as a kind of super hyphen for compound modifiers. Look at the examples. The teacher assigned pages 101 N-181. So for using these number ranges, you can use the N dash. Just remember when we had spelled out the numbers for 56, we had used a hyphen. In this case, when you write 101 N-181. So when you are mentioning the specific number ranges, you use the N dash. Then the scheduled window for the cable installation is 1 N-3 p.m. You can use the N dash to denote a connection. When you want to connect terms that are already hyphenated. So you have two terms which are already hyphenated. How do you connect them? For example, the pro-choice that is hyphenated, then you use the N dash. Pro hyphen life. So pro-choice and pro-life both are hyphenated. How to connect these two terms? Pro hyphen choice, N dash, pro hyphen life. So pro-choice, pro-life argument is always a heated one. Then the Nobel Prize winning author. Now the Nobel Prize is actually, even though it is two terms, it consists of two terms, we usually say Nobel Prize, right? So this is a combination of two terms. Now you want to connect this with another word. So use the N dash. The Nobel Prize winning author. We don't use the hyphen over the, we use the slightly longer one. The N dash is slightly longer than the hyphen. And the M dash is slightly longer than the N dash. Alright. So you need to remember the hyphen, then the N dash and the M dash. You might be asked to spot the difference between these three terms. And remember one or two uses or how to use them. So you can substantiate your answer with examples. That will help you to get marks. What about the period? A period or a full stop. We use that at the end of a statement. We use a period also after an abbreviation. For example, if your name has an initial, your name is Vishal KK and K stands for Kuttipuram. Kuttipuram Kidake Vittil. So you can write K period, K period. So abbreviations can be denoted using the period. Then sentences ending with question marks or exclamation marks do not require the period. Some people do that. They put a question mark and then put a period as well. You don't need that. So it's either a period or an exclamation mark or a question mark. In sentences ending with parenthesis, the period is placed outside the parenthesis. If the parentheses contain a full sentence, the period is placed inside the parenthesis. Then you need to know about capitalization. Always remember that the first letter of any sentence should begin with a capital letter. The names of people, the titles of books all begin with capital letters. Then prepositions and coordinating conjunctions are not capitalized unless they appear first in the sentence or in the title of your work. Next, we move over to academic style. What is academic style and why is it important? Academic style refers to the style adopted in writing scholarly essays, project papers, journal articles, research papers, and dissertations. Academic writing needs to follow some stylistic rules and regulations. Stylistic consistency decides the quality of an academic work. Now, what are the popular style guides used by us? One is MLA. MLA stands for Modern Language Association. So this organization has prepared the style guide, MLA, and then we use that. The 9th edition of MLA has been released this year. Then we have the APA, American Psychological Association. Now, what's the difference between these two? Of course, they follow different systems. MLA is usually used by students who pursue humanities or language. Then APA is usually used by students who follow science or who need to document statistical data. In our university, we usually follow the MLA. Alright, now both in MLA and in APA, there are specific guidelines for putting spacing, margins, and where to put the punctuation, and how to put the page headers, how to write the title, and how to document the in-text citation. Another difference between MLA and APA is with regard to the in-text citation. Suppose you quote an author, you need to mention the details about that quotation. So the in-text quotation in MLA uses the author page citation. In APA, they use the author date citation. That's the difference. Do remember the differences between the use of MLA and APA. First, expand what MLA stands for and what APA stands for. Modern Language Association and American Psychological Association. Then MLA is usually used for arts and humanities. It helps you to break down citing paintings, books, and other literature. APA is usually used by technical works found in social sciences and sometimes also used by students of science. In the MLA format, we list sources at the end of your paper with the title Works Cited. Works Cited. And in the APA, we use references as the title for mentioning the works that you have quoted from. And then another point which you must remember is that for the in-text citation of MLA, we use the author page citation, and for APA, we use the author date citation. You must also remember what works cited means. Works cited means that suppose you have used quotations or concepts from some particular author or authors, you need to document that. So inside the text, you mention like this author, the page number, but after that, at the end of the paper, you need to give the title Works Cited and then arrange alphabetically the authors whom you have quoted in your research paper. What is bibliography? Bibliography differs from works cited and reference-less, because in references and in works cited, you can only mention the works which you have referred to and have cited in your paper. A bibliography, on the other hand, can list all the material you have consulted in preparing your essay or your paper, whether you have actually referred to or cited or not. So you can mention all the books that you have read in relation to this paper, even though you have not actually cited some author from the books mentioned in bibliography. That's the difference here. Alright, so we have summed up the major points of Unit 6